Let me make sure we are live. Looks like we are. Hey, everybody. If you are in, please let me know. I want to make sure everyone can hear me. If you can hear me, somebody tell me something. Let's see. Let me go to my chat. Okay. Yes, Eden is there. Hey, sister. All right. All right. Cool, cool, cool. Let me see if I can see it on YouTube. I'm just going to give it one more minute and we'll go ahead and get started. Oh, we live on YouTube as well. I don't know what's going on with Instagram, but we'll work on that later. But all right, perfect. Awesome, awesome. Thank you all so much for joining us on today. This is my first time having a guest on. Super excited to have my brother to introduce you all to him. Let me pull up his bio. Listen, because I want to make sure that the people of God's bios are read, okay? Y'all need to know where people come from, the credentials, the background, the experience, all of those different things. But before I do that, I do want to really quickly encourage all of my ladies, please make sure if you are not registered for the Ministry and Marketplace Conference, August the 8th, you need to be in the building. I'm trying to tell you, there are some things that are coming down the pipeline, y'all. I can't even talk about them yet, but I'm telling you, you need to be in the room with people that have been where you are wanting to be, where you are trying to go. So I'm super excited. This is going to be an amazing day. Grab your sister, grab your friend, make it a weekend. So y'all need to go to questisforme.com/summit 2026. Go ahead and register, get your ticket. Again, you don't want to miss it. If you miss it, don't say that I didn't tell you. I'm telling you now, you need to be in the building. So without further ado, today I have a very special guest on, my brother, Rory Edge. He is actually my business consultant. Some of you know that, some of you do not. And he has a powerful, powerful testimony to share with you all. I titled this From Pastoring to a Marketplace Mogul, because that really truly is what he is. He is the epitome of ministry and marketplace and how they coincide, and the fact that you can do both. So I want to read his bio. So Rory Cordon Edge is the founder and managing director of Edge Healthcare of America Corporation, a Georgia-based healthcare organization which is headquartered in Cordele. So since establishing the corporation in 2025, Rory has led its strategic expansion across multiple care verticals with a rapidly growing footprint in the senior living sector. His leadership centers on building compliant, community-focused operations that elevate care, quality, and expand access for aging populations. So before launching Edge Healthcare of America Corporation, Rory served as founding director of Amaya's Healthcare and built a diverse portfolio of Georgia-based ventures spanning healthcare management, ministry and marketplace, and organizational development. So his background reflects a long-standing commitment to service, operational excellence, and community impact. Rory is also a four-time published author, with its most recent book being Senior Care Success. So strategies for launching and growing a rewarding care empire. So for those that want to go into this sector, you need to cop the book. So today, Rory guides the corporation's growth with a focus on senior living development, regulatory alignment, and compassionate service delivery, highlighting their mission statement, which is caring for America's seniors. I love it. And positioning Edge Healthcare of America Corporation as an emerging leader in the region's long-term care landscape. So I love it. Absolutely love it. I'm going to bring my brother on and we are going to go ahead and start this conversation. Hey, brother, how are you?
Hey y'all.
Good to see. Okay, so before we get started, I want to make sure that you guys don't hear any like background or any echo or something. So just somebody put it in the comments before we have this conversation. Can y'all hear us clearly, both of us? Looking to see. Are y'all able to hear us clearly? Somebody tell me. Yes, no, maybe so. Okay, if y'all can't hear me, let me know. But we're gonna go ahead and get started. So, brother, thank you so much for joining me today. Okay, perfect. Even if you can hear us, this is an important conversation. I know you and my sister personally. I've heard from you guys personally the story that you're just everything that you guys have gone through. And then just to see where you are now and still see you reference. You still can't hear me? You can't hear me?
I can't hear you. Nope.
Okay,
I can't
hold
hear you.
on. Hold
Lord
on.
Jesus, do it, Lord. Do it, God. Do it,
Hold
Lord.
on.
Do it,
Can you
Lord.
hear me now? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Nope.
Oh.
Not today. Lord, I need you to do this now. It's gonna be a good interview. I need you to do it, Jesus. I need
Hold
you
on.
to.
Hold on.
Okay, I can hear you now. I can
Okay,
hear you
perfect.
now.
Okay. All right. So let me start back over. So you can hear
Yeah.
me now. You good?
Yep. I can hear
Okay,
you.
perfect. Okay, so I took my little microphone off. We ain't gonna have no problems today.
Okay. All right.
Like I was mentioning, I personally know of you and Eden's story, your family story, all of the things that you've had to overcome and where you are now. And you still incorporate your testimony into everything that you're doing to encourage people and let them know, yeah, you may have started from the bottom, but you can get to the top. So I I know a lot of people on here may not know you. So besides your resume that I just or your bio that I just, gave to the people, I want to give you a platform to really just be able to tell people about your story. Like, how did you get here? Because I think that's really important for people that are really trying to navigate that ministry and marketplace sector. Tell us your story. Tell us your testimony.
Well, first of all, Dr. McCray, as I refer to you, uh, thank you again for having me on tonight. I really do appreciate the opportunity and the platform and the privilege because I understand how you operate, and I know you don't mess around in no foolishness. So I do appreciate the opportunity. Just a little bit about me. I'm a good old country boy from. Born and raised in the small town of Plains, Georgia, home of our beloved late President Jimmy Carter and Rory Edge, CEO and
Did
managing.
not know you were from Plains. That's the first thing. I didn't
Yeah,
realize that.
yeah,
Okay.
yep. Raised in Plains, and I love it. It's my hometown. I come from there. I come from a very big family. I'm one of seven, and I'm right in the middle. Like I'm it's three older and three younger, and that's a trip and a privilege at the same time. I love my brothers and sisters.
But they
I
be
love
having
my.
me tripping out.
I'm talking, and
Boy,
we
y'all
be
be going
serious.
toe to toe. I need to come to a family reunion.
Yeah, it's lit, Doc.
My sister already told me, she was like, you just got to come to a family function because I be dying laughing
It's
at all of
lit.
y'all.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you. However, if somebody calls and somebody's in need, I guarantee you, we getting up and going to see about it. I
I
promise you,
believe
that's
you.
gonna
I
happen.
believe you.
So, but I'm one of seven, husband of one. My beautiful wife Eden has been by my side for the last. We were sharing with someone earlier for the last 20 plus years, and we've been married for 15, and we together we have three amazing children. Isaiah, Ian, and Amira. And so we are just, and now for the last, it's just hard to believe where time is gone. For the last 7 years, we have been involved in the senior care business. We got the initial idea in 2019, I believe. 2020, we officially launched the company. 2021, we opened our first business. 2022 and 23, we acquired three additional businesses, four additional businesses over that 2 year time span. We have since divested from the smaller facilities, the 6-bed facilities, and we have entered into the mid-sized facility market with our recent acquisition of a 16-bed facility in the Abilene, Kansas area. Yes, God is good. Amen. And as you are aware of, there are other things in the pipeline. So we are. God has blessed us, and He's keeping us. And we gave Him a vision to bless, as Scripture teaches. Present your plans unto the Lord, and He will bless them. And He has done exceeding abundantly above all we could ask or think. So that's just a little bit about how we got to where we are now.
Love it. So we're going to talk a little bit about just what you're doing right now and how God is expanding that. But tell us, so we're talking about pastoring to now being a marketplace mogul and having this big vision that God has given you. Tell us what you're doing on the ministry side, what you were doing, what you're currently doing, just kind of how that part of your life is or was.
Okay. So in 2016, my wife and I, we felt called of God to plant a church in the Pooler, Georgia area. If people are familiar, it's near Savannah. And we were just talking about this before we got on. You and I, we were just talking about the that experience. But I asked her to dinner one night, and I said, "Baby, I need you to meet me. We would meet on Wednesdays for lunch, well, for dinner rather." And because at certain restaurants, we had smaller children then, and at certain restaurants, they ate for free. And so we would go to this particular restaurant we went to that night was Zaxby's. I never forget it. And so we were sitting there, and I told her, I said, "Man, I think God is calling me to start a church." And she was like, "Huh."
Not too much on my sister. Not too
much. She said, she said, "You told me we were coming back to Savannah for you to graduate," because I was working on completing my undergrad. And it went from 0 to 60 in like 2.5 seconds.
My life.
And I told her, I said, "Well, this is what I just believe. I don't know yet." I said, "But I'm going to go on a fast, and I'm going to seek the Lord and just ask Him to confirm this." I said, "But I tell you what," I say, "if you don't sign off on it, I won't do it." I said, because what I don't want to happen is I don't want you to have resentment towards God. I don't want you to have resentment towards ministry. I don't want you to have resentment towards me. And I said, I ain't even let no church tear my marriage up. It's just not gonna happen.
Come on.
You know. And so she was like, "Nope, it's not gonna happen." I said, "Okay, cool, that's fine." And I used that as the scapegoat to disobey what God had called me
to not do what God was calling you to do.
Okay. Yeah. So fast forward, I was okay with it. I was like, "Well, cool." There was a company that was interested in me in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. And I was scheduled to go up and conduct the in-person interview. We had done like something similar to this. Zoom wasn't like really big, 10 years ago, like it is now. But we had conducted an interview like this. And then I was scheduled to fly up to participate in an in-person interview. Well, all of that did not happen. I got a call back saying, "Hey, we're going to go in another direction. We found someone locally," and all that. I was like, "Okay, well, cool." I graduate in a few months, and we gonna get out of here. And so I started that process of, okay, I got to look for somewhere to work. We got to work, whether we're gonna stay here in the Savannah area, or we're gonna travel outside of what we had come to know for the last year and a half. And I never forget it. I was on the fast, and this young lady called me. My phone began to ring at 5 o'clock in the morning. Now you know how that is.
Jesus, 5 o'clock
You know,
in the morning.
yeah, either something really, really bad has happened,
Right,
or something really, really good has happened,
right,
or one of the two for you to be
right.
calling me at 5. Nonetheless, she called. She said, Rory Edge, I apologize. Please, she said, please forgive me and tell your wife she said, but I had to call you. The Lord spoke to me in prayer this morning and said to you that it's time to launch. And I was like, I dropped the phone. I dropped the phone. And so by this time, she wasn't first lady then, but she up like this trying to figure out who I'm on the phone with.
Right, so who called you at 5 o'clock? First of
Yeah.
all,
So
let's
she's
talk
sitting
about
up with
that.
her bonnet on,
That
and she
part.
looking, yeah. And so, but she's overhearing this conversation. She's overhearing it, and then it wasn't, maybe a few days later where she came back to me and she was, she said, God convicted me, and I can't. She said one of the things she said was, I can't get in His way. And I said,
Come on.
"Oh my God, oh my God,
Right
woo!"
there.
I'm getting chill bumps right
Come
now.
on.
She said,
Yeah.
"I can't get in His way," and with tears in her eyes, she said, "So whatever He needs me to do, and whatever you need me to do, I'm with you all the way." And that was all I needed. So we started planning. We
Come on,
came,
Ian. Period.
yeah, hey, hey. So
Oh,
God,
what? Proverbs 31?
come on, yeah, oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. She's amazing. And so at that point, I started praying about a name. Lord, what is? And He gave me the name, and He gave me the colors for the church, and all of that. The only thing He did not give me was the location. He said, "Roy, that's going to be for you to decide." And so we started. We planted the church in a little small hotel in Poolers. It was the Ramada, and our first service, I think like 33 people showed up, and I was
Wow.
like, okay, God, I
Yeah.
get it. All right, I get it.
That's
33.
quite a bit of people.
Yep.
For
And
service.
then after that, the 33 people came, and then after that, it went down to like 10 people. Then it went down to like just my family. you know, but I preached, Doc, as if every seat was
Come
filled.
on, sir. Come on.
Every Sunday, there would be some Sundays where it's just my family and I. And one, I'll never forget one particular Sunday. My oldest son came up to me. He was younger then, and he was like, "Daddy, nobody's here." I said, "We still having church." I said, "Because we are the church, And
Yeah.
I'm telling, and even then, if I hadn't packed my stuff up, I just want to pause as a theologian say parenthetically here and say
All right, parenthetically. That's Brandon all
that
day.
even then, I wanted to show my son, my children, what it meant to persevere.
Come on.
I don't, I,
Come on. Come
and
on.
and I and I believe that that's a lot of our problems is we're waiting on the approval of other people. We're waiting for people to sign off on what God has already told us to
Come
do.
on.
And
Yeah.
that can come in many forms. It can come in the form of support. It can come in the form of just validation. It can come in many forms. And so in that particular moment, I was like, God told me to do this. I'm going to preach. Now, was it easy? No, it was not easy
Come on.
because the people I was preaching to were the people that I lived with, Doc.
Yeah. Yeah. But
So,
what you just said there is just so important. God didn't give the vision to them, He gave it to you. So even if only one person supports or two people support it, a lot of times it's really about our posture. Can I trust you with this little right now so that I can make you ruler over this? And that's what we fail to realize. When
yeah.
God tells us something, we expect Him just to bless it and it take off.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Sheila is on here. She always reminds me of when God told me to open this business, and I just had that one client. And I was just like, y'all, we got one client. Even though we were in the red. I'm like, but we got one client.
Got one.
So it's like, how did you navigate that? For those that are in ministry, God may have called them to ministry or called them to anything right now. How do you navigate that space when you're doing what God is calling you to do, but you're not seeing the fruit of it at all?
Doc, I will tell you this. There are some things that can only be forged by faith.
Jesus, yeah.
There are some things, especially you've done over $1 million in revenue, and I'm so proud of you. I don't know what to do. Like when you announced that, That's huge. That's huge. And you did it in a short period of time. But there are some things that can only be forged. There's this saying, you never, how does it go? You don't appreciate the mountaintop until you've gone through a valley.
Listen.
And so, yeah, yeah. And in this faith walk and in this entrepreneurship for me is just a big word for faith. I promise you that's it. Um,
Listen.
yeah, that's what it is.
You never knew how much of an intercessor you would be
Yeah,
until you become an entrepreneur.
absolutely.
Because all you
Absolutely.
got
Yep.
is what
That's all
God
you have.
says in your work ethic. That's it.
That's it. And so how you manage that, number one, I think what I would have done differently now is I would have surrounded myself with people, and I think you said it before you got on, with people who have been where I was trying to go.
Yeah.
But here's the thing with that though, you have to be careful with that as well, because if you get too close to those people, they will start pouring into you what God said to them, and then you'll start to override what he said for you to do.
Come on.
And so that's the first thing. And then the second thing you have to deal with, and it's unfortunate, but you have to deal with jealousy in the process as well, because you'll have the way, and this ain't a knock to anybody, this ain't a jab at anybody. It's just the truth. And I
Yeah.
want people to be prepared for that. You'll have people, hey, Reverend Doc, you need me to help you, whatever you need, I'm there, I'm here, da 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 da. And then when I pick up the phone and make the phone call or shoot the text message, it goes unanswered, and you're nowhere to be seen. So, but I would definitely to help me survive that better. Looking back, look, I don't take nothing from my journey now. Let's please don't, because I believe God had me behind the mountainside, right, tending to the sheep and growing in that capacity, because He wanted to do something in me that He didn't want anyone else to get the credit for.
Yeah. And
Nothing else.
Now it's still ministry.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And so fast forward, I started averaging about 30 to 40 people per Sunday. The seats started filling up. We outgrew the hotel, went into this, a hurricane hit Savannah. I think it was Hurricane Michael. And my wife was working as an outreach coordinator for a chiropractic office at the time. And she was like, hey, we're going to go over to the area and just offer free massages. Myself and the massage therapist, we're going to offer free massages to the relief efforts, to the people that are working there, and hopefully maybe generate some leads. She said, I think you should come. She said, you know how to swing a hammer. I used to help my dad build houses. She said, just come and help in the area, whatever the case may be. And in the process, we were helping this pastor. God rest his soul. He's deceased now. And he was like, what do you do? And I said, well, at the time I was a behavioral health counselor. And then I said, and we just started a church. And he was like, really? He was like, where is it? I said, we're in the Ramada Inn right there off of Trutland Parkway in Pooler. And he was like, well, Rory, we have a youth building. We only use it one day a week. He said, it's yours if you want to use it. And I was like, oh, okay. I said, well, I said, thank you so much. I said, but we can't afford that. He said, no, it's free for you to use. Wow. And I was like, wait, what?
Wow.
Doc, nothing like that had ever happened in my life before, ever, and so that was God was like, I told you, I got you.
Yeah.
I told you, I got you. And so that took a big burden off of us as far as financially, because although the hotel was very generous with us, it was still a financial commitment involved in that. And that really taught me stewardship.
Yeah.
It really taught me stewardship.
That's amazing. So you went from pastoring to stepping away. How did you transition from the pastoring to then going into senior care?
Well, so here is where obedience comes into play. And I want your audience to listen and pay attention, because just as he had instructed me to start the church, to launch the ministry, he also about a year in told me to leave. And I was like, wait, I didn't understand that. Like, wait a minute. You telling me to start this church and then it's growing, people coming, we're consistent in our giving and our tithe and offering. People we're consistent in, our attendance. Like, no, and I was like, well, okay. I said, well, I'll stick around just a little bit longer. I'll stick around Just kind of, and I never forget it. I was preaching one Sunday. I'll never forget it, Doc. I'm going in. Oh Lord,
You
yeah. I'm
know
going,
what?
Doc. I'm talking about. I'm getting it. I'm putting my foot in it. You hear me? And the pastor who I was preaching, and he spoke to me and said, "That's the pastor." I couldn't believe it. I
Wow.
couldn't believe it. I
Wow.
was befuddled. So the pastor walks in after church. We have a conversation, and they were like, "Well, my family, we're new here, and we're looking for a church home." And I was like, "You have no idea what's about to go on. You have no idea what's about to take place." And so but however, my I will genuinely say that my pride got in the way. I was like, this is my baby. God, you told me to start
Fine,
this church.
fine.
So what I did was, after some time, now it wasn't an immediate appointment. I made the individual the associate pastor.
Mm-hmm.
And God kept telling me, and I'll never forget at the like we had a little ceremony one Sunday at church, and I remember him telling me, as I'm going through the ceremony, that ain't what I told you to do. That ain't what I told you to do.
Come
That ain't
on.
what I told you to do. And I was like, okay, Lord, I'll get to that at some point. I get to that at some point. And then the bottom fell out, all Hades broke loose, and we ultimately ended up having to close the church. And I never forget, I had my head in my hands, and he told me, he said, "I told you to walk away."
Jesus,
And
Lord.
I was boohoo crying. I'm like, God, like, I know I heard you. He said, you did, and you obeyed me. He said, but you didn't follow through. And I was like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And so I took full responsibility for that. So much so it took me into a depression. And people gonna talk, people gonna say, well, because of this. No, it was, I disobeyed God and
Yeah.
didn't leave when I was instructed to do so. It's
And a lot
bottom
of
line.
times our obedience is tied to someone's breakthrough, and our disobedience is tied to their breakthrough as well.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
God was saying, hey, you need to let this go. And then he had to snatch it, because at the end
Yep.
of the day, you still gonna let it go whether you give it willingly or not.
Yep.
It's mine.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because we're just stewards of it. This
Yeah.
corporation that we're building, it's stewardship. It doesn't belong. Yeah, my name on a lot of
On
paperwork.
my post, look, God the principal. Baby, I'm taking CEO.
He
Get
the
his
big
in.
dog. Whatever you tell me to do, wherever you and
Exactly.
but that it was good for me that I was afflicted in that way, because after that point, I went into a deep depression. And then that started presenting some challenges in my marriage. So it was summertime, so we sent the kids away. We sent them to their Mimi, and it was just she and I, and we were just in the valley of decision. We were like, look, we finna figure out where we going from here. Because
Yeah.
it had really it had really taken a toll. I'd never been in a depression that deep before. It
Jesus.
was dark.
Yeah.
I felt like I was in a hole. And I don't know, just imagine, in your mind's eye, I felt like I was in a deep hole. I would say maybe about 20 feet deep, but you can see a little light at the top.
Just a little glimmer.
Yeah, just
You like, how do I get there?
yeah,
It's that
exactly.
far
But
away.
there's no ladder in here with me.
Mm.
It's dirt on every side. So if I try to climb up the walls, you got this loose sand and I ultimately fall back in.
Yeah.
And it really, I'm telling you, it was a challenging time. Challenging time. And so one day I decided to go back to therapy, go into therapy, because as a behavioral health counselor, weekly, I was a supervised trainee at the time, because I was in the process of getting my LPC.
Mm-hmm.
So they require you, as part of that program. I had to go to therapy myself. They're like, how you gonna therapize and you not being therapized yourself? So
Yeah.
nonetheless, I was in therapy, and I was my clinical director was also my therapist. And I told her, about everything that was going on. That may have been like our third session. And she said these words to me, and the light came on. She said, Rory, she said, you are not the failure. The church was. And I was like, Doc, a light came on. a light came on, and that was my last session at that time. But that was my last session. I was like, oh my gosh. And I told her, I said, oh, I'm good now. It's like a light came on. Um, and a new enthusiasm, my enthusiasm came back. I called my wife, went to where she was, and apologized for disobeying God. I told her, I said, I'll never do that again.
Come on, because that's the mature side of this. Like, life be lifing. We try to navigate what God is telling us to do. Sometimes we fall short, but we got to be willing to repent, because at the end of the day, God's going to forgive us. He's going to forgive us. His grace and mercy is new each and every morning.
Absolutely.
But you got to be willing to admit, I dropped the ball.
Yep. Sure
now
did.
Put the ball up and make a touchdown.
And keep it moving. Keep it. One of my favorite verses is found in 1 John. And it says, if we say that we have no sin, we deceive ourselves. And we are liars, and the truth is not in us.
Exactly.
But it says, if we confess our sin. But I said, oh,
he is faithful
and just to forgive us.
Listen, and cleanse us.
And cleanse. Leave it alone.
No condemnation. Come on,
none.
Come on.
None. It's one of my favorite. I'm telling you, it's one of my most favorite. I remember us reciting it as a little boy. I grew up in Lebanon Missionary Baptist Church in Plains, Georgia. And that would be our responsive reading. And of course, in the Baptist church, the preacher, he'll read, start it off, and then the congregation will respond, and then so forth. And it closes out with that verse. It says, but if we confess our sin, he is faithful and just to forgive us and cleanse us of. And that's one of my favorite verses to this day. And that's what I did. Like I do that now. Like I confess. So I said, sins of omission, commission. I tell God that I didn't say that right. I didn't do that right. I didn't, because confession is our antidote. Absolutely.
And what does the other scripture say? We overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony.
Absolutely.
So we got to get up here. We got to pave the way for others not to have to go through the stuff that we have to go through. And Keila put something so profound in the chat. The ram only comes when you're willing to sacrifice.
Tell Keila, don't start. Don't start now, because
the ram only comes when you willing to sacrifice.
When you're willing to sacrifice.
Like, no, God, I ain't doing what you told me to do. I ain't, That's the one thing I can say about myself is I will be out here on a limb, just me and God. If he say do it, that's what's going to happen. Close the door, little boy.
life, and keep you gotta life, and you good, Doc. No, you good, cause my glasses keep fogging up. But I'm gonna go with it, because if I don't do the interview without him, I can't see.
Right. But so that is just so amazing, just to hear that and hear where you are now. You know, you started, you thought, and this is a thing, just because something doesn't go, this is what I've had to learn. Just because it doesn't go exactly how I wanted it to go, don't mean God didn't say it.
There you go. Bingo.
That's what I'm learning. Some of the things, some of the processes that I have to go through, some of the trials is for me just to get further in the process.
Absolutely.
Further towards the promise.
Absolutely.
There have been some things I'm like, I know this you. I know you're going to give me this. I know you're going to do this. And then it don't happen. And I'm like, okay, God, what was I supposed to learn in this? What happened?
Yep.
But it's all a part of the process. Somebody needs to put that in the chat. It is all a part of the process. The Bible tells us that his ways are not our ways. His thoughts are not our thoughts. Mm-hmm. We get so caught up on the outcome and don't go through the process.
Yep.
We get so caught up. The prophet said, this is what God gonna do. He gonna give me millions. Okay, yeah, he might give you with millions. I agree with that prophecy. But what you gonna do to get there? You think God from the sky?
Because Doc, if I'm gonna interrupt just a second, because if he gives it to the version of you now, you'll be broke in a month. You'll be broke in 6 months. You'll be broke in 6 weeks. You'll be broke in a year. If he gives you the person, you know that you don't even manage the finances, the $10.60 you got now. And that's not an insult. I was there.
It's the truth.
It's just the truth.
You don't even pay your tithe now.
You don't even tithe.
You don't got to
It's not gonna
You
happen.
want some money so you can stand on your friends.
Exactly, and he knows what did it say? The heart is deceitfully wicked. Who can know it? We can't. We don't know, and that's what it is. You got a chip on your shoulder, and you're trying to prove the naysayers wrong.
Come
And God
on.
sees that. He sees that. Somebody told you you'll never be anything. Somebody told you you'll never amount to anything. It could have been your mama, your daddy, your cousin, your
Come
brother,
on.
your classmate, your principal, your high school counselor, and God knows you trying to stunt. He knows that. He knows that as soon as that money hits your account, you're gonna go buy a car and you're gonna go find whoever them people is, and you're gonna pull up, you're gonna roll up on them, and he knows that that's the sole purpose of why you want this $1 million,
Come on. And
and
then you
he ain't
got
gonna
this
give it to you.
fancy car, and
Uh huh.
you pulling up to an apartment on Section 8. Come
See what
on.
I'm talking about? See what I'm
It
talking about?
don't make no sense.
It makes no sense. It makes no sense. So, but if we're faithful, to your point earlier, if we're faithful over a few things,
Yep.
he will make you ruler over many. And as I said, Doc, I'm so glad I went through that experience of having to close that church, of ultimately having to went into depression, having to file for bankruptcy. We lost our townhouse. We lost our cars. Them folk came and picked them cars up. You hear me?
Wow.
We lost everything that we had. Well, they picked two of them up. Two of them, and then the engine blew up in another one. So, I guess it just all worked out in his favor. But even in that, so after that, we filed for bankruptcy. Should not have done it, knowing then what I know now. That was a huge mistake. And I'm not a financial advisor, or I'm not a bankruptcy attorney. But y'all, let that be your last resort. Don't just jump into that, because it's easy to get into. It's hard to erase.
Yeah.
It's hard to
At
erase.
least 7 years, right?
7 years. 7 years. It just fell off of our.
Come on.
Eba. But check this out though. This is the God that I serve, right? I couldn't use traditional credit for anything that I've done over the last 7 years. But when I tell you, he will provide a ram in the bush. Y'all not hearing me in here. It didn't stop, Doc. It didn't stop anything. We were able to open our very first home back in 2021. We were able to acquire 4 more after that. We didn't use no personal credit to do that. And so as you are aware of, this is some of the things that I teach in my consulting. People think credit is king. It ain't about what you know. I'm telling you. Sometimes it's about who you know.
Yeah.
And so I got hungry. I said, well, I can't do it this way. God, there has to be another way. So I just grew an insatiable appetite to just learn. And I started listening to people like Lisa Nichols. I don't know if she's a motivational speaker, Black lady. I just has a powerful story. Lisa Nichols, and an Iranian guy by the name of Patrick Bet David. I started listening to him. I started listening to Les Brown. Les Brown had a TV show on PBS 30 years ago. He's still one of my most favorite inspirational speakers. And one of my favorite speeches that he does is titled "It's Not Over Until I Win." It's on YouTube. It's 29 minutes and some change. You need to go listen to that. And what I had to do, the episode with the church pulled me from the church. And little did I know, God's plan in hand was all in it. That's how we ended up transitioning from pastoring into the marketplace. It was and I'm telling you, people being saved out here in these streets. People are being delivered. People are being set free. And the automatic assumption is, when you receive your calling, you got to go into somebody's pulpit, you get a license and ordained, and then you get sent to another church. But that ain't the direction.
You're doing ministry. You're still at a church. You're still serving.
Yep.
You don't have to be in the capacity. And I want everybody on here. Everybody is not called to pastor. Not saying that you're not going to pastor again, but that's not everybody's testimony.
I probably won't.
If God say, you're going to have to do it. Praise God.
No. We done had the conversation, Doc.
Listen, we're going to let God be God. But literally, ministry is what God calls you to do. You ministering to people in your lives about senior care and what God is saying that He has for us and all of those different things. So ministry is not just getting up there preaching, teaching. It can come in so many different facets. So
Absolutely.
what was I about to say? So I remember there was a short time where Rory and Eden was actually living in Henry County, so we were actually able to spend some time with them. And I remember you coming into my living room. I was like, listen, I'm trying to be debt free. I ain't trying to do all of that stuff. And you was like, Erica, there's a difference between personal debt and business debt. So when I started going through this process of opening this home care agency, all of that stuff came back to me. I was like, Rory told me. There's a difference between I saw it then, and I really feel like I didn't know that I was going to be an entrepreneur. I did not know that I was going to be opening a business. I did not know that it was going to be in senior care. None of that, but it was seeds that God had you to drop in my spirit, with His ministry for when I got to this point. So I also want to share a testimony of how I actually even started working with Rory. So of course I've known that they, had personal care homes and was expanding and doing all of these different things. And we didn't talk for a while on the business side, even after I opened my home care business. Y'all knew I opened it, but we didn't sit down and like have conversations. But I got to a pivotal point last year where I was trying to make some stuff shake. And I needed a large lump sum of money just sitting in an account to be able to qualify to get a certification. And I'm racking my brain, and I had to get it in 30 days. Y'all know my faith is big. I'm like, guys, you got 30 days, so I don't know what you got to do. Some got to shake. Some got to shake. And in that time frame, God told me like 2 or 3, it was like 2 or 3 days back to back to back. He was like, reach out to Rory, reach out to Rory, reach out to Rory, like. So I that third time he said it because I kept thinking about it and was going on with my business, whatever I had going on that day. So I reached out, and that's when we started having a conversation. And Rory was like, helping me to figure out, okay, well, have you tried this? Have you looked into this? Have you looked into that? Ended up being able to get the money that I needed. And it was done in less than a week. Yep. But the thing that got me, so essentially Roy was like, well, have you considered, your 401k? For people out there, you can do a 60-day rollover on your 401k and it'd be like nothing ever happened. Well, in your traditional IRA. I would do a 60-day rollover. So anyway, but from that, I remember calling my mother-in-law because before we got off the phone, before Rory even knew that I was going to be able to work it out, he said, if you can't work it out, call me back. We're going to figure something out. And I told my mother-in-law, I said, you know what? He was going to help me figure this thing out one way or the other if I could not get it done. And I told her that day, I said, that spoke volumes to me. So I don't think I told you this publicly, but I just want you to know that for me, I didn't know that you were gonna be my business consultant or nothing, didn't have any inkling of that. But that's the fact that you said, if you can't figure this out, call me back. I'm gonna try to help you to figure it out to get what you need. That spoke volumes to me. I was like, you know what? He was really gonna help me figure this thing out, and this ain't got nothing to do with him. So when you did reach back out to me and said, hey, I need to talk with you. Like, I got a proposition for you because God's been speaking to me concerning you. I didn't know what you were talking about. But I was like, yeah, let's have this conversation because you were willing to do whatever necessary to help me with something that ain't got nothing to do with you. So I was willing to hear, what you had to say. So Rory has been my business consultant since December. I remember us sitting down and he was like, yeah,
December 5th, I think. December 5th, if I'm not mistaken.
That's when we signed a contract, but we
signed
a contract on December 5th, but we talked, I think Mm,
Maybe like a month, almost right at a month prior
I
to.
think it was quite. I don't know. Because then
Okay,
I was thinking like a few days or so. It's probably like the end of November is when we started
okay,
having
okay,
conversations. Then we
okay.
officially
Gotcha.
signed the contract December the 5th. But Rory asked me a question. Like, so my mind, y'all, is like, y'all gonna see. I'm gonna tell you right now. God placed Rory back in my life
Mhm.
to challenge my mindset. So I had y'all know I have the Henry Clayton area. We went into Middle Georgia last year, and I was telling my team, I was like, we gonna build in Valdosta. And Rory taught me. He was telling me about his program and how much it costs and all of that stuff, which for me was a very, very large investment. Second large investment since me having to invest in the business the first time
Mhm.
with the franchise territory fee. So I had to pray about it. But God gave me peace. He was like, yeah, you need to move forward. But one of the questions that Rory asked me, he was like, Erica, do you want incremental growth or exponential growth? And I was like, duh, exponential growth. He was like, okay, but this little stuff that you're talking about, oh, I'm about to go build over here, I'm about to go do it, like, that's not going to get you where you need to be. And I was like, okay, like, what are you talking about? He was like, girl, you need to be buying businesses, doing these things to, expand. And I was like, you know what? I ain't never thought about that.
Mhm.
I've never thought about that. Like, it was like a light bulb when this was before we even signed the contract to, go through the process and all of that stuff. So just know my mind is like there is nothing. Y'all hear me. Y'all, there will be testimonies in 2026. We ain't talking about no 2027. There will be testimonies in 2026 of
Absolutely.
God's faithfulness.
Absolutely.
We in this process in these 90 days, I'll eventually tell the testimony.
Mhm.
Man, I have gone through the ringer. I
Yeah.
have gone through the ringer. We've been at the table and stuff
Yes.
got pulled back and just all
Yes.
kinds of stuff. But
I
I am
love it.
believing God. But I will tell you this partners, this business mentorship has truly changed my mindset. It's changed my goals. So I just read a book called the Science of Scaling, and my
Hmm.
2-year goal has now become my 3-year goal. I'm just ready to just have everything that God said I was going to have, and it's not going to take a long time. So I just want to encourage anybody on here. Um, it ain't gonna take a long time for God to do what He said He was gonna do. You just got to change your mindset.
Yeah.
And Rory has been trying to convince me to change my mindset since Lord knows. And I was like, bro, like, I hear you. You and Edie, y'all gonna do what y'all gonna do, baby. As for me and the McCray household, we gonna do it. But now I sit back and it was literally God just planting those seeds. And then when stuff started happening, he was like, Rory told you this like 3 years ago. I was like, you're right, he did. I'm kind of so, and it's so fun. It's not funny, but it is funny
Yeah.
how everything has come full circle because
Yeah.
now he's a guy, but he's like a midwife to help me birth out the
Absolutely.
stuff that God is saying in this season.
Absolutely.
So yeah, he is. I always trying to tell somebody what to do. So I was like, "Rory, get out of here, baby. Y'all go do what you gonna do, baby. We ain't in that sea. I ain't even gonna be an
Nope.
entrepreneur, so I don't
Nope.
need no
Yeah.
debt and all this stuff.
I
I'm
was
good
thinking
till I'm
about that.
95.
I was thinking about that. I remember you told me, God ain't called me to
I said, baby,
entrepreneur. And I
not me.
said, Doc, I remember I put my hands up. I said, look, I'm just giving you what I think the Lord is telling me. Now I said, you do what you want to do with it now.
Yeah, I was like, you
Cause,
do what you gonna do with it, but I'm just telling you. And I
but
was
I'm
like,
just
God,
telling
go
you,
on out of here,
I'm
baby.
telling
Let's
you.
go.
And look at you now. Look at my God. Thank you,
Yeah,
Lord.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
serious. Oh God, I'm full, Doc, because like you literally now have access to millions of dollars. Literally.
Yeah. We do, y'all. We done been working on some stuff, and I will share this. We have got to tables where the bank was willing to give me millions to purchase something. So I just want y'all to know that God is doing something in this season. I'm not shocked
Hallelujah.
until I see it come to pass. But I wouldn't have been able. Now God can do whatever,
Yeah,
but
he
He
can.
gave me
Absolutely.
story to open my mind to
Mhm.
what God has for me. He literally was saying, "You are thinking too small.
Too small. Too
You
small.
are thinking too small. Like
Yeah.
you got to expand." And my y'all know my faith is like, baby, y'all can't tell me God ain't gonna do nothing for me. I feel like I'm his favorite and only child. That's how I feel. I ain't got to share
As
him
you
with
should.
y'all. I'm
As
his
you
favorite.
should. As you
I'm
should.
his favorite. So I'm excited. I'm in transition.
Mhm.
I see the promise. I'm like Joshua. I'm
Yeah.
just waiting on God. That's gonna be my Monday manna tomorrow. I'm just waiting on God to say, go ahead and take over the land.
Go possess it. Go
That,
possess it.
that's what I'm
I've,
waiting on.
and that's the thing. That's the difference between the 10 and the 2. If you're familiar with the story, the 10 came back with the negative report and was
Come
like,
on.
"We can't take the land. There's giants in it." 2 people, but this ought to be an indication to let you know that strength ain't
Everybody
always
ain't
in
equipped.
numbers.
Everybody ain't ready.
Strength ain't always in numbers. So
Listen.
and the problem that I see with a lot of wannabe entrepreneurs is they are just waiting. Oh, I need everybody to support. I need everybody. And God is like, no, you don't. No, you don't.
You told me this. You said it's lonely at the top. It's
Extremely.
lonely when you trying to do what God is calling you to do, but everybody else don't see it. So you only have yourself and God and what He said. It's lonely.
Yep.
These past 2 weeks, man, we done had how many conversations about how have you processed what happened?
That's her thing, y'all. When Doc and I won't expose you fully, but she has to process what has taken place. And I told her, I said, okay, I'm gonna let you
Process
do
for
it.
half a second, let go. But
I
while
said,
I'm
but
processing, I worry like while I'm processing, I'm still doing stuff while I'm
yeah, she's
processing.
still working.
I'll
Yes,
come back to you and
yes.
be like, I was processing, but I'm
Uh,
still doing SLP.
and so I shoot her a text. You still processing? Are you ready to move? Because I told her,
I already be moving, but it's a lot. It's a
yeah,
lot
it
to
can be.
try to navigate.
Yeah,
And honestly, it's us trying to figure out what the heck going on when God really didn't ask us to.
he didn't. He
He
didn't.
why am I asking?
His
I just
ways are not our
gotta,
ways, Doc. His thoughts
yeah.
are not our thoughts. And I got to give you your kudos. I got to give you your props. And I told her this, and I'm telling the world this because the world watching. But I told y'all one of the things I told Dr. McCrae. I said, you probably, out of all of my students, you've probably, like, you have exceeded. I told her this last week. Exceeded my expectations. I didn't think nothing less, but I also didn't think that she would do as good as she this. When I tell you, and I'm
I'm
gonna
a
tell y'all
bulldog
what.
now, y'all. I be in rooms, they be like, oh, such. I'm like, baby, let me tell you something. Because I already know the game. They like, oh, you are so knowledgeable.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
part.
And I'm telling you, and so I'm like, Doc, when you have this conversation, say this, and then do this, and then point to this, and then do this. She knows how. At this point, she knows now how to do evaluation for a company. She knows the ins. I'm talking. She know the numbers. She knows the ins and outs, and her experience has been the greatest factor in that. And what I mean by her experience, she's already into private in-home care. So we take her experience, and then we partner her with other people, the other nuts and bolts, if you will, that are needed to make this engine function like it's supposed to. We take that, and then what we do is we couple all of that together. She'll tell you, teamwork make the dream work. Teamwork makes the dream work. If you don't have a good team around you, I'm telling you, and the problem a lot of entrepreneurs make is they try to be islands. They try to do it on their own. I can figure it out. No, you can't. No, you can't. She now has a team of experts, and we come together and we strategize. And we
Man, and
say,
team
Erica,
is a bomb.com. And
I'm
let me tell
I'm
y'all, let
telling
me
you.
share this testimony. So Rory put me in a room with the lending broker, and when we were having a conversation, it was not going the way that I wanted it to go. And my face was just like, and Rory stepped in and was like, well, you got she got this experience and she's doing this. And what she's trying to do is actually going to be this. And they were like, oh, well, if that's the case, we can give her 100% financing. So if it wasn't Rory in that moment being like, hey, stepping in and doing that, then that conversation wouldn't have even gone. I wouldn't even have the partnership that I have right now. So listen.
I'm telling you.
Listen to God. You have to invest in yourself.
You have to. You have to. You have to. It's mandatory. At this point, over the last, I think my first real mentorship was when I wrote my first book. And it was and I won't name drop. But she changed my life and my vision of myself. And so I got to give God praise and glory for my very first mentor. She helped me see things and learn things about myself that I didn't know that I could tap into and reach into. And since then, I've had about, I still currently have probably about, I would say maybe 6 or 7 mentors. Someone mentors me in my spiritual walk. Someone mentors me financially. I have a therapist. Okay. Y'all go to therapy.
Listen, baby, get your mind right.
Get your mind right.
God plus therapy.
There you go. Absolutely. So I have a therapist. I have a financial strategist. I have all of, that's why your team matters. And then I also have somebody that I can just call and just get silly with. You know what I'm saying? Because you have to have that also. But with where God is taking
together a board. So my board coming out was Rory saying, Erica, you got to have a board, because when you're trying to go and you're getting funding, trying to look at private investors and all of that, they're going to want to know who's helping you to run. And I have a dynamic team. I remember when we just had our second board meeting this past Thursday.
Beautiful.
Yeah, but that first meeting in January, I was so nervous, but then everybody came on and told their expertise. I said, look at me, got a dream team.
Dream team.
So, yes, like you have to have a team of people. So I've learned so much in 90 days. I've been in this coaching program with Rory for 90 days. And to be honest, we got close to 1 or 2 businesses like 3 times, and unfortunately it didn't go as planned, but
God has a way.
God is still in control, and we're still going at it. So I know that it's on the horizon. I believe that strongly. But I have the foundation. God had to give me the foundation. He had to, even with these deals not going through, I learned so much in the process. I know what to do the next time. I know what to say. I know how to, talk to my team and all of that. So I'm so grateful that even though things didn't turn out the way I thought God was going to do it exactly, it's turning out still exactly how he wants it to be.
Oh my God. He will do exceeding abundantly above all we could ever ask or think, according to the power that worketh within you. And I got to give you your props, Doc, now.
For a reason, but I'm about to go live again.
Okay.
Just a minute. I don't know why it's doing that. Okay, we're back on. Okay, so yeah, I'm grateful. I'm so grateful for you hearing from God, reaching out to me, me being obedient, because when it comes to Christ, I mean, to be honest, especially in our community, baby, we like, whoa. But and that keeps us where God is taking you.
There you go.
Gotta invest. You have to invest. So I just want people to understand that and know that, like, you have to invest in what God is saying to do in this
season. Absolutely.
So tell us. So as we've been on here about an hour, so I don't want to take up too much of everybody's time, but just tell us kind of what your vision is. What is your short-term, long-term vision for what you're doing, and how how you are helping other people to get there. Like, how can they connect with you, whether it's your books, whether it's your coaching, all of those different things.
Okay, so my long-term goal is to assist 1,000 people in the business acquisition, business buying process. That's the long-term goal, is to take literally the years of information that I've gathered and compile it into. Erica was really in an intensive. She really learned a 4-year degree in 90 days.
I love that
Like
for
this,
you.
this
So
a
you
whole
will have
degree.
it though. Are you gonna have it where it's like a 12-month type program or something?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. That is the ultimate goal, the eventual goal, because I understand not everybody can dedicate the time to it that you did. You like we were talking almost every day at one
Yeah.
point, like
Yeah.
literally almost every day, and this wasn't like 5-10 minute conversations. This was no, do this. We're gonna do this. Call this person. We're gonna do that. Da da da. And then you would send me a follow-up email with everything that we discussed, like line on
Listen,
line. Like, sister, you bad to the
when,
bone, I'm
look,
telling you.
look, when money involved, I'm like, hold up. Let me make sure I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I need the results.
Yeah, but yeah, exactly. So that is the long term. The short term goal, believe it or not, I've just opened the enrollment for my next cohort. Okay, and enrollment is currently going on now. And so if anyone,
Let me ask you, is this just for those that want to go in the senior care space, or is this for everybody? We need to specify.
if you want to learn what it takes to buy a business, it
Okay.
does not
So
have to be in
specifically
senior
to
care.
buying a business. Okay.
If you want to buy an earthworm company, and you know what I'm saying, we can help you look at it. We can help you get the valuation on it. We can help you determine whether or not it's a good, what the cash flow is. We can help you figure out what the seller's discretionary income is on these things. And see, a lot of this stuff I had to learn. I learned, and part of my degree is a business component of it. And I'm like, bro, y'all, I didn't learn any of this stuff at school. I had to pick up a book. I had
And
to learn this.
I'll tell you this too. This is something that just dropped on me, but I want you to consider also becoming a franchise broker. I don't know what that looks like, but that's
Okay.
how I ended up getting into mine. Somebody reached out to me and they get paid to put a person, when I actually signed with my franchise, that person got paid. I didn't
Wow.
have to pay them. They walked me through, they told me all of the different opportunities out there. Then they put me in front of the franchise. The franchise did their thing. Once I signed, he got paid. So I don't know what that looks like, but consider
Okay.
listening to that, because that
Yeah.
just goes into everything else that you're doing.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. We. I'm telling you, we running numbers over here. Like this
Mhm.
ain't fabricated. This ain't no, oh well, ain't no big talk. Well, I mean, I talk big. I mean, it is what it is. But and it's not arrogance. It's confidence. I know what I know. I know what I'm able and competent in doing and providing the service that I provide for you. And as we stated earlier, this isn't oh man, well God dog, I signed up for this, I make this investment, and I didn't, and he talked all this big talk, and then come to find out, no, it ain't none of that. It ain't none of that over. No, 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 no. I'm gonna show you where the money is. This
Yeah.
is and God, I'm telling you, when I tell you he can do exceeding abundantly above all you ask.
You couldn't have told me that a bank would give me, because I have been in business for 3 years and I have a bank telling me they won't give me more than 50K. And I've been in business for 3 years and we had a total revenue of $1 million. So for me, literally being at the table and having a proposal from a
Yep.
bank that they were willing to give me over like millions.
Millions
I
of
was
dollars.
like, what? So
Millions.
it's out there. You just have to know how to access it and have your portfolio and everything in the right context to do it. And then two, experience is key.
Yep.
There,
Absolutely.
the bank's not gonna give you millions for something that you don't have experience in, because they can't trust that you're gonna be able to take it where it needs to be so they can get their money back. So
Nope.
it's all about that as well. So that has truly changed the game for me. So you're doing the 12-month, and then are you still going to do like an intensive type with those?
Yeah, what I'm gonna do is, and I told you this, but you were my guinea pig for the intensive. It was high energy, and you knocked it out the park. I'm telling you, Doc. I told her we had a conversation the other day, and I said you were under observation for some other things we got going on. But I told her, I said you were under observation, and you passed the test with flying colors. And because of that, we got some other things brewing and some other things coming together. But what I plan to do is, because I'm high energy, I'm like, hey, let's get it done. Let's get
I'm
it
ready
done.
to go.
Let's
We
get
got
it
some
done.
conversations next week. I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yep.
come on now. I'm waiting
Yep.
on you.
Let's get this done. Ain't no. And yeah, I never forget. I won't go into too many details, but we were in a meeting, and someone was trying to push a deadline into another week, and Dr. McCray was like, "Yeah, no, that's not happening. Can you have this ready in 2 days?" I was like, "Yes, get
Listen,
him, Doc. Get him, Doc." Cause what we playing
you
for?
got a couple of days.
Yeah,
Make a decision.
make a decision. Let me know in a
If
couple
not,
days.
we moving on.
And we moving on.
Yeah.
And it's just business. And when
It's
you
all business. You
it's
have to take your feelings out of it.
you
And I
have to.
realize that. Like,
Yep.
you can be emotional, but you're gonna have to be emotional on your own time.
On your own time. On your
Business
own
is
time.
business. People gonna make decisions that they want to make. It is what it is. Now you move and shake according to whatever decision they make.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So you have to, that's why being fluid and being able to pivot is important also. I've had several deals that fell through. We get ready at closing, the week of closing, several deals, and something happens. Oh,
Yeah.
well, we can't move forward because we don't have this, or come to find out there was a third owner, and now and it's like you have to be prepared but
Yeah.
you also have to be able to pivot. You got to be
Yeah.
able to pivot
And pivot quick. What are you gonna do? Because now you got the attention of the lenders and everybody
yep,
ready to rock and roll. What are you going to do to make it happen? Even though it didn't happen for this, there's still other opportunities. I remember you sharing with me that Eden, one of your deals fell through, and Eden was like, "Okay,
yep.
ain't there other deals out there?
She
Like,
was like, ain't it? She was like,
what
Rory.
you got going on?"
She said, you found that one. You can find like it ain't.
It's 30,000 other ones out there. Let's go find
Absolutely.
another. And that's
Absolutely.
where my mindset has been. I've been so God, Keela called me and was prophesying one day, and she said, You trying to hold on to Georgia so hard. God said states. Like, what are you doing?
Yep.
Go. But little did she know that God had been dealing with me that night, 11 o'clock that night. She called me at 7:30 in the morning, 11
Wow.
o'clock the night before. I had already sent off to my living broker other states. So God is just so intentional. He will literally rock your entire foundation.
Yes, he will.
Get you to do what he is calling you to do. He doesn't care about your comfort. Somebody need to put that in the chat.
He doesn't.
He don't care about your comfort. He don't care about your small thinking. He's gonna do what he want to do in and through you. Are you capable of handling what he has coming down the pipeline?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so one of the things that I live by, Doc, is I'm okay with I'll say this. Our fear is hearing no. I think we're spoiled as a society.
True. That's true.
We're spoiled as a people. I don't think we realize how spoiled and how blessed we are.
We don't know how to pivot past the no.
We don't know how to pivot past it. When somebody tells us no, it's as if, oh God, you apply for college, or I may have some people who just have no aspirations of going into entrepreneurship whatsoever. But you're so fearful of applying for that next job or applying for that. You're so scared because you're afraid of saying no. But my wife put another perspective on it. She said, she told someone today, we were at church, after church. She said, that ain't why you don't want to do it. She said, you are scared to do it because you know how successful you'll be. And she said, you'll have to leave who you are now in order to become
Come
I
on,
said, come on,
Florence.
Doc. I'm talking about, she broke that thing down, and the young lady was like, yeah, that's it. And she was like, no. She was like, you don't have time for that. You don't have time for that. And I tell people all the time, like, she cut through. I put a little.
Me too. That's why me and my sister get along, baby.
Y'all do? That's because y'all the same people.
It is what it is.
I put a little butter on it, but no, she be like, I see you later. And then
Exactly.
go put her bunny
You
on and
gonna
go
get
get in the
this?
bed.
You gonna get this dry Popeyes biscuit with no honey, no water?
No, no, period. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't realize and didn't know my full potential. And there's still stuff for me that I'm, I'll turn 40 this year, praise God. And I'm coming into who I am. And I don't know if this make there may be some men that are seeing this, but I'm coming into myself into my true manhood. I am to the place now where I'm okay with who doesn't like me. I'm okay with who ain't feeling me. I'm okay with who does like me. I'm to that point now in my life where either way, it does not matter. I'm okay with that, because the one person that has been consistent in my life, and that has been him. And
Yeah.
he has never left me. He has never forsaken me. And you touched on it earlier as far as it being lonely at the time. Everybody ain't doing this.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Everybody
This is a whole
everybody
new
ain't.
ball game for me. Just
It's a
all of
whole.
it.
It's a whole new. And that was one of the things I told you. I said, Erica, you might. I said, I don't know. But I know for me, I told you my experience. I said, I lost a lot along the way. I lost a lot of friends. I've lost a lot of, people that I thought were, and then also some of those friends have come back and said, okay, Rory, hey, I didn't understand it at that point. I didn't
And
understand
that's
it.
okay too. And I appreciate somebody saying, hey, I just couldn't handle what you had going on, because
But
I was
tell
in a
me
different
more.
headspace.
Yep.
Yeah,
Tell
absolutely.
me more.
That's
What
because
do you
I
mean?
couldn't handle what you were talking about. I said, baby, get on out of here. Just no.
And I was like,
It's
nah,
not happening.
no, it's gonna happen because you have the capability. I told you that on our initial call. I said, Doc, you have what it takes. Do you want exponential or do you want incremental? And you were like, you sat there for a second, and I saw that brain going. I said, oh, she in it. And you were like, exponential. I was like, well, if you gonna see this, because right now, this what you do, this peanuts. I said, but you can I'm talking about you can move and you can shake in less than a year. You can have 9, 10 million, 11 million under your belt in less than a year. Probably if you really like hunker down, you can do it in 6 months. It can be done. We've
Yeah.
seen it. We
And I'm
know.
saying that. I'm in home care groups and all of that, and the people are like, oh, you don't have to go and buy this, you can do this. I'm like, girl, please.
Please.
Girl, please.
It
The
it
stress
takes
that
the
I had to go through to launch 2 territories is
Yep.
diabolical.
It is.
I don't want that. I don't want that anymore. But in the Black community, we feel like getting it out the mud the hard way just got to be like, no, I want the
you,
soft life with my father. Give me the soft life. No.
and these multi-million-dollar businesses that you are acquiring is going to give you that soft life. You're going to be able to. You'll be with what we're getting ready to close with you. You're going to be able to decide to take 6 months off and put somebody else in charge if you choose to do that. And whereas if you did it the traditional way, if you waited 6 years, 10 years to build a business like that, you wouldn't be able to like this is almost instant gratification with this business acquisition thing. Like it's almost you got instant cash flow, you have an instant reputation. So when you acquire a business, you immediately acquire that business's reputation, whether it be good or whether it be bad. You acquire employees, people already in place,
Yep. Full fledged
doing what
system. You
you
just
have.
going in and making tweaks if needed.
You just making minor adjustments. This
Yep.
facility we just bought, fully staffed. We're working now to get all of the beds full. And we're doing a very good job. We've had some amazing leads over this past week. It has been People have been calling left and right, wanting to put their people somewhere in
Yeah.
Abilene, Kansas. Sister,
Because when you do what God is calling you to do, He gonna put the super on your natural every
he'll,
single time.
yes, he will. And we are well on our way to be that particular facility to be $1 million facility this year. We are well on our way. And then we're taking that experience and that track record, in
And then
addition,
and doing another. Just keep going.
boom, boom. And before you know it, we'll have X amount of facilities by the end of the year.
Yeah.
And so, to your point, we got, I don't know, for whatever reason, us, if it ain't hard, if there's no stress behind it, if you ain't
But
had to,
that's what we saw growing up. That's all
yeah,
we know.
that's true.
So, and that's the thing that I want people to understand. It wasn't until I was like, okay, yeah, let me have a conversation with you. Let me allow my mind to be expanded. I would still, be going and building in Valdosta. I could have done that a few months ago, to be honest, if I wanted to do that. But we have to get out of we have to allow God to enlarge our minds so that He can enlarge our territory.
Mm-hmm. Whole time, that's where the territory is. It ain't no physical land that he talk. It's
Mm-hmm.
up here that's gonna get me the physical land. Yes.
Exactly.
And when
Exactly.
we say that prayer, oh Lord, enlarge my territory, Jesus, and we pray that prayer, the prayer of Jabez, oh Lord, that you
Yeah.
may bless me indeed. The expansion starts here.
Here, God has to get here so that He can get it here, because it's
There
in
you
your
go.
hand. He
Here,
said,
then
where
here.
your foot treads, He will give you the land.
He
Where your
will
foot
give you.
treads, if you ain't going nowhere, how He gonna give it to you?
How is he gonna do it? Exactly.
I refuse to go back to my hometown. I was like, no,
Yep.
I'm not doing that. I got to go where God is going. And now I'm in a point. I just want to publicly honor you, Rory. I really
Thank you.
appreciate what you've done for me in these 90 days.
Thank you.
My heart of hearts, I am unstoppable. And everything that has been instilled into me in this short amount of time, the wisdom, the knowledge, everything, it's going to pay off. It's going to pay
Absolutely.
off for me multiple times. And I feel like just even through this testimony of me going through this program with you, God's going to also bless what you're doing. Like I feel that wholeheartedly. That's my prayer
Absolutely.
for everybody. God, those that you send to help me, I pray that you bless them. But I'm excited. What's the song? I don't have to see it, but I know it's coming.
Oh yeah, yeah. Gary Swindell.
I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
have to see it, but
yeah.
I know it's
But I
coming.
know it's
I just
coming.
feel it.
It's coming. Doc, I
I
know. Listen,
feel
let me
it.
tell you. I know you gave me your numbers last week of what you want to do in a year. I honestly believe with the tenacity and with the grit that you have, I think you can do probably maybe 3 to 4 times that. I know you had a number. I know, and I have to tell her this. I said, I always say to her, if it were me, that's that's what I always say to her, y'all. Because when her
AKA,
mind,
listen.
yeah, when her mind made up, I'm like, okay. And then sometimes she be like, well, you know what? I thought about what you said. I'm
And
like,
that's
no.
exactly what I do.
I'll be like, no. I said, don't do it because that's what I said. I said, you know how fast you can go. You know how fast you can go. I said, and but for you, and I don't care. I'm gonna say it. For you, I know you said 9, 10 mil. Nah, we finna up the ante. I'm telling you,
I
Doc.
believe God for 20 to 30 by year 3. I believe that.
Absolutely.
So I'm turning my 10-year goal into a 3-year goal.
Absolutely. And it's gonna happen. I believe it's gonna happen this year. I really like, and because it's March, we at the midpoint of
We
March.
we at first quarter, and my prayer. We still got 2 weeks in this month.
Uh-huh.
My prayer is I want to be in underwriting this month. This month,
It's gonna happen. I'm telling you.
just to start, and then we still got 9 more months in the year.
And right, and that's my point. That's what I'm saying. So while this deal is being underwritten and it's being reviewed, and them people coming through, cause I'm telling you now, they're gonna come through it with a fine tooth comb now. I'm telling you. But with reason, they not just giving you $10,000. They giving you 5 million, 6 million, 7 million, 10 million. Like, and this ain't no. Y'all. Sometimes I be like, okay, this ain't real. This is real.
Yeah.
Doc, tell the saints, this is real money. These are real people in offices who can make decisions,
Yeah.
y'all. And
It's just so beautiful to see,
yeah,
like, just to have a team.
yep,
My lending broker didn't know. I went and so true. Roy done taught me so good. I done went and found me a lender
yep. She sure did.
and brought the lender to my lending broker, and he like, girl, where you get her from?
Yeah.
And now he like, because now I'm unstoppable. Knowledge,
Absolutely.
power.
Yeah, we were on the. I'm gonna tell you this little bit of our call. We were on a call with a particular deal, and this particular, I always tell Dr. Erica, I tell her, I said, look, I'm gonna sit back. If you need me, shoot me a text and tell me what you need, and then I tell you, or either I'll step in. I never overstep her boundaries. I always say, hey, I'm here to support, but if you need me on that call, you let me know, and we're gonna jump on the call. So we were on this particular call, and the person was there was some I guess maybe some questions about the terms of a deal, and so she immediately turned to her lender and was like, can we do that?
Listen.
And the lender was like, Erica, she said, I'm gonna run the numbers on it and I'll have it ready for you this afternoon. Or like she was like, if not this afternoon, first thing tomorrow morning. And I was
Exactly.
like, that's what I'm talking about, Doc.
You
That's
bring
what
it,
I'm
so it's been a beautiful, it's been a beautiful ride, and it hasn't been an easy ride. It has
nope.
been a rocky roller coaster for me. But when I sit back and I just think about what God has done in 90 days.
Yep. 90. So can
90
you
days.
imagine what the next 9 years are gonna be like? Can you imagine?
I'm so giddy. Like
Yeah.
I told Rory, I said, babe, I'm gonna be the valedictorian for life in
It's
your
already
program.
done.
For life.
You already got it. And this is the beautiful thing. It's people, it's melanated people like you and me doing stuff like this. And
And then we're gonna be able to pull.
that's what I'm
I
talking about.
have a friend that always says, lift as you climb, lift as you
Wow.
climb. So this is not
Absolutely.
just us getting on here. We're telling you that God is doing a new thing. Will you not be aware of it?
Mm-hmm.
He
Doc,
is shifting the guards. He is shifting wealth and power and all of that. Are you gonna be in alignment to what he is doing in this season? Are you, or are you just gonna sit by the wayside because we're gonna do what God is calling us to do and we're gonna reap the benefits? Are you gonna be in alignment?
mm-hmm.
This
Mm-hmm.
ain't Erica got it going on. Oh, Rory got. We're telling you we done had to get it out the mud. We're
Yep.
telling you all of the stuff that we've had to go through to get here. But you got to change your mindset and you got to believe that God, if God said it, that settles it. We get so stuck on we can't see it, so it ain't happening.
But as you know, as you're aware of, like this, the deal I just closed, it was $1 million deal. Like, and
And you
so
out here there, you a not a drug dealer, you a doggone business dealer.
business deal. I'm talking about.
Just snatching them.
You know what I'm saying?
You get a
But
business. You get a business.
you get a business. You get what?
You done closed about 3 or 4 deals in the 90 days. I'm trying to get my soul salvation together over here.
God, listen. Let me tell you something. But I think it was who said this. I can't remember exactly who said it. But what people don't know is it took me 15 years to become an overnight success.
That part.
People didn't
So
see
that's
me.
what, and I don't argue with people. This is one thing. My people, I don't argue with people about their price. If I can't afford it or I don't want to pay it, I'm just not gonna do it.
And it's okay. And that's okay.
But you gotta, no matter what, no matter who, you got to do your research and you have to be led and you have to know when you have to invest. Did I have to pay a pretty penny? I did. But when you look at what's getting ready, what has already taken place, and what's getting ready to take place, that's like pennies in the bucket.
It's pennies, Doc. It's pennies. And like, y'all, it's pennies in comparison. The investment for the cohort and for the mentorship versus what you get ready to be on beaches. You getting ready to get y'all finna get your family finna get flued out to like you can't, you know what, Brandon, we going to Fiji today. So call off if you can, do what you need to do. We finna get on the jet. They waiting for us at Hartsville. I'm finna scoop the boys up. I've already packed your stuff. All I need you to do is meet me here, and we finna like. That's the mindset that you have to get yourself to.
And I
And
told my husband that. I'm like, my husband, I'm ministry and marketplace blended. My husband is straight up ministry, baby.
Yep.
Straight up ministry. And I told him, I said, I'm perfectly fine with God just allowing you to do all the ministry that you want. But baby, let me tell you something. He has called this one to millions. And we gonna have it all. We're gonna be able to do everything. One of my my close friends are on here. I know his wife was on here, but they were calling. I got some very prophetic friends, y'all. You can't pay to have prophetic friends that really hear from God and are there for you in the seasons that you need them the most. But he was just mentioning that, like he literally said, you are ministry and marketplace. You're the bridge, you're the connector. And he told me, he said, if you don't, I know, you might be going through transitions. You're trying to figure out, well, God, I feel like I'm doing a whole bunch of marketplace, but not a whole bunch of ministry. He was like, this is your ministry. And if you don't obey God in the accelerated timeline that he's
my God,
right now, you gonna be out of alignment and disobedient. He said, hear me. You better go. And I mean, it don't matter if it don't make sense to you. You do what he is saying, do now. Or you're gonna be counted as disobedient.
Yep.
And y'all know one thing about me, baby. I don't care what nobody say. I ain't trying to be disobedient to God, baby. I'm more scared of him.
Listen, let me tell you something, Doc. When we had to close that church, that was my last time, to my knowledge, being disobedient to what God had told me to do. That was my last time. And because I'm not gonna say that it was God's punishment. No, it was I think the punishment was innately inside of my disobedience. I believe that. God didn't have to punish me. It was the whipping came from me not doing what I was supposed to do.
Yeah.
And so at that point, I removed all the inhibitions. I think it's Luke chapter 16, if I'm not mistaken. Jesus, it talks about the shrewd investor. And when y'all get a chance, go and read it. Go read it in the King James, read it in the NIV, and then read it in the Message. Read it all 3 times. One particular verse in there, Jesus tells, he gives the parable of the shrewd investor. But he tells them at the conclusion of the story, he tells us the story that is, he said, go befriend those of the world. I was like, wait a minute, hold on. What? I was like, now how are we supposed to do that? And we supposed to be the light and the salt, and they in darkness. How are we supposed to do that? And what I didn't understand was when he said world, he was talking about the people who know how to go in and come out in this age.
Come on.
The investors, the brokers, he said, you need to go be friends with those people. He said, because they have your stuff.
Yeah. They have what you need. All the resources, the finances, everything.
They have what you need. They are literally sitting at computers and looking at deals all day and saying, you know what, this deal matches what we land on. Let me go ahead and hit this approval.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Or you know what? No, I don't have it, but I can connect you to this person that does. I had a conversation with one woman. She told me, she said, well, Rory, your project is too small for us. We don't land on anything less than 100 million. I said, what?
Wow.
She said, we don't land on anything less than what, and we out here fighting, trying to get 5K and a grant, and and it's God Almighty. Come, bring it in, Roy, bring it in. And I get excited about this kind of stuff because I've seen it.
It's
I've
out there for
seen it.
us, but we
It's
don't
out
have
there.
access to it. We don't know that it's out there, and we're not willing to invest to get the knowledge.
And that's what it is. And this I'm just gonna touch this a little bit. In some instances, it's not discrimination. You ain't being discriminated against. You don't have the right information,
You,
and that's
and that's very true. And even the two people that I have on my team right now, they're not a color.
they're not.
And
They
they
are
are
not.
fighting hard for me. When my one deal, the major deal that was on the table, went away, my lender called me and said, "You okay?" He said, I just want to check in on you because she knew she was fighting
She
so hard
was
for me.
absolutely. I saw it with
Didn't
my
know
own
me,
two
had
eyes.
just met me,
Yep.
but she was fighting so hard for me. But at the end of the day, business is business. If a
It's
better
big.
deal is on the table, she still has to do her job. But
Yep.
she called and said, "I just want to check in on you." So stuff like that, that just lets you know that God favors you, that He's mindful of you. Yeah, it didn't work out the way you wanted, but I always say when stuff doesn't work out, better is on the horizon.
Better is on. I told you. I told you when that deal didn't fall through, like we were almost at closing, and I got that phone call. We had just left my son's soccer game in Bad Austin. We were on 75 North. Got the phone call, and my wife noticed my demeanor change. She noticed it. And she was like, Rory, it's like literally thousands of other deals like that. Like, bro, don't like you can't. She
You got
said
to
you
move on, pivot quick.
she said, you've come too far and you've
Yeah,
learned too much and you've seen too much at this point for you to get upset over this. She was like, brother, come on. And that's when I saw I opened YouTube and Terry Savelle
I
Ford's
watched
message.
it today, heading to church, and it blessed my
I'm
soul
telling
so
you.
good.
I'm telling you. So, so we got to be mindful of what we feed ourselves. Y'all, I'm like pray and ask the Lord to surround you with the right people. Seriously.
Yeah, yeah,
Pray and ask him, Lord, send me for every my prayer, what I constantly pray, Doc, is I said, Lord, for every deficit in my life, for every deficiency that Rory has, because I'm a visionary.
yeah.
And
You
also I'm
gotta
an
have people to work the vision.
there you go. And I used to be able to execute too, but God needs me to be vision right now.
Yeah,
So now I have executors who work for me and who work on my behalf, and they do it exactly how I do it because they know if they don't do it exactly how I say do it, then something is on the line if they drop the ball on it, and I make sure I make
yeah,
that known.
yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So you, Doc, you gonna be fine. You gonna be fine. I
I
promise
believe
you.
it. I'm excited. Just still trying to go. I'm ready to get to that first closing table. That's gonna be a pivotal point in my business trajectory and everything. So it's just me trying to get to that one. But I know that once I get to that one, there's multiple on the way. I believe that wholeheartedly.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you can also, and this is to anybody who's watching, who's questioning. They may be saying, "Well, can you only do one deal at a time?" No, you don't. You don't have
No,
to.
I was about to do two deals at one time.
Two.
and
Yeah.
and I'm working on another two deals at one time.
Yes, ma'am.
So it just really just depends on just the nature of all of that stuff. But no, not necessarily. And I've learned that too because we went from it being possible one to then two being back and all of this stuff. So I'm learning so much, but I know that I have to go through this process, whether it goes the way I want it to go or not. It's all a part of what God wants me to learn, what He wants me to do, what
Hmm.
experience He wants me to have, so that I can not only do what He's calling me to do, but also with this platform, ministry and marketplace, be able to share that testimony, be able to put y'all in the rooms with people like Rory. I'm going to be bringing other people on here
Yeah.
so that y'all have access to the people that y'all need, like time out. The YouTube clip that he's talking about is called Ask Big.
Hmm.
It's time out for sitting here and asking God just to, Lord, can you just give me some gas money today?
No,
We passed that.
we passed it. We
We are
passed it.
past that.
Oh,
It's time for us to take territory. It's time for us to take our rightful place. It's time for us to trust that God is going to do it. It's time for us to get out of this poverty mindset. I'm big on. I'm a coupon. I told my husband, I say, probably we can have millions. I'm probably still gonna be cute, baby. I'm still gonna go to the Queen of Prayer. That's just me. But it's a poverty. It's also a poverty mindset.
It is.
You had to figure out how to get it done with the means that you have. But God is calling us to bigger.
Yeah.
If you have the capacity to do it on your own, that means you don't need God.
You don't need him.
You gotta pray. So one of the things that really stood out to me in the message that the lady, what's her name, Tara?
Terry.
Was I think she was talking about Walt Disney. So anything that everybody was like, oh, that's a great idea. He was like,
he went with that idea.
When they were like, no, we can't do that. He was like, this is the one we about to do.
We gonna do it.
And that just blew my mind. So when I think about when I was reading that book, The Science of Scaling, I'm gonna get us off of here, y'all, because we just talking. We talk all day. When I was reading that book, and it was like, okay, I'm thinking to myself as he's telling me about the other businesses. I'm like, Erica, you put on your wall, on my wall, it says I want 20 to 30 million annually by year 10. This guy say, okay, so but what about doing it in year 3? 3 more years. What can you do that in 3 years? And I'm like, I actually could if I do this, if I change this, if I do this, if I do this. So my mind has just acknowledged, like I said, again, Rory, I appreciate you allowing God to use you.
Thank you.
Me stretching my mindset. I felt Rory, I said, look, it was a lot, but you were every penny, baby. Because I'm literally on the cusp of something that I would have never imagined for myself, for family. Rory said, what he said, what you really want to do? I said, I really want to. There is a woman-owned business right here in Henry County where I am. She is making $1 billion. She is a $1 billion company. I can see that.
Yep.
Now, y'all know I just celebrated 1 million last year, and I'm talking about $1 million. That's how impossible my goal is.
That thing, I got some chill bump when you said that. That's how impossible I love that. I love it. I built my life on you tell me what I can't do. I'm finna show you. Now, my motivation was wrong initially. When I was younger,
come on.
I was y'all. When my teens, my child, I was crazy. You hear me? But I didn't know that God was going to use that for the furtherance of the gospel later on. I didn't realize 30 years ago how I would just say stuff and wouldn't be afraid to say it. How God would use that for the furtherance of the gospel. And one of the things I want to challenge everybody that's watching and that's going to listen to this in the near future. Don't pray for the blessing without, and I made that a post. Don't pray for the blessing without also praying that God turns you into the individual you need to be in order to maintain.
Come on.
Don't pray for, oh God, oh bless me, you snot nose and you got slobber coming out and you're crying. And the reason it hasn't happened yet, and I believe this is the Holy Spirit speaking this to me to tell somebody, is because you haven't become the person you need to be in order for you to get it. No, he's not going to let you win the lottery if you play. No, he's not going to bless. And guess what? Here's the thing about the widow woman, and I'm going to hush. This all I got. This is the last thing I'm going to say, Doc, because I know you got to go.
No, you good. And then you wrap up and tell us how they can reach you and all of that stuff.
But the widow woman, she was going to make the cake, okay? In the Book of Kings. She was going to make the cake, and then for herself and for her son, and then they were going to die. And Elijah said, make me the first.
Make me the first.
Make me the first. And that
follow the instructions.
Come on, you got to follow the instructions. And that wasn't her giving it to him, but in that moment, he served as God's representative.
Come on here. Come on.
I'm trying not, I'm really trying. And the reason I'm so motivated and so passionate about this is because it's unbelievers out here and they using our stuff to succeed. I got a problem with that. I got a big problem with that.
Come on. He said the wealth of the wicked is laid up for the righteous.
It's laid up. And so she made him the first cake. After she was obedient and gave to God first, then the instructions came. What did he tell her? He said, now, He said, go borrow every vessel you can get, every vessel you can find,
Come on.
because we are praying for God to fill us, but we haven't brought him anything.
Come on, sir.
Y'all ain't gonna, y'all don't hear me here tonight. We haven't given him anything to bless.
Or we too full of our own selves. We ain't even bringing them. He said, bring empty vessels. But we so full of what we want that he can't even pour anything into us.
He can't fill us. He can't fill us. And so we don't have, and what I mean by that is this. No, your goal may not be what Dr. Erica's is. Hers is hers at
I'm
her
very
impossible.
ambitious. Y'all know I
Yeah,
got
very
5 degrees. I'ma always push the envelope.
facts. You feel what I'm saying? And I ain't got no problem with that.
There ain't nothing wrong with it.
There was nothing wrong with that. There was absolutely nothing. But also at the same time, don't be mad at her when she in Tahiti now, and her and Dr. Brandon, they on the beach, and they and they got
Come
their
on
little,
now.
you know what I'm saying?
We got the whole family out there. We living
And
our best life.
you see what I'm talking about? You
But I
done
done
flew.
labored and I trusted and I believe God for it. So listen.
So we got to give God that's one thing I would say. We got to give God something to bless.
Amen.
We got to be obedient. We have to be. What is he calling you to do? For me, it's assisted living. It's senior care. For you, it could be, I don't know, burgers. It could be chips. It could be handbags. Whatever it is, give him something to bless.
Yeah, that's good.
Give him, Proverbs say, present your plans unto the Lord, and he will bless them. Y'all ain't got no business plan. You ain't got nothing together. You just hope is a wish and a hope. And
Yeah.
that ain't how them people who make decisions about money, that ain't how they give it out.
Have to be in order, and that's what we really got. We have to focus on. So I'm you out here doing it. I appreciate it. I appreciate the seeds that you planted in me years ago.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That came up at the right time. I was like, oh, yep, I sent him to tell you this 3 years ago. You said no. Now look at you. And I'm like, well, you're right. So I'm appreciative of the journey that you've been in. I appreciate what you're doing now. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep believing
Thank you.
God. Eyes have not seen, ears have not heard what he's getting ready to do for y'all. Like point blank, period. You don't owe anybody an explanation for the success that you're having for what God is doing. And I believe that you wanting to pour into others and building your platforms, your courses, all of those different things, God's going to do that as well. Because it is about us also doing what God is calling us to do, but also, bringing others along the journey as well.
Absolutely.
That's
And
what teaching is all about.
and that's the ministry part to it. That's the ministry
Exactly.
part. I will
Exactly.
with what I told you. Now I was joking earlier when you said about pastoring again. I told my wife, I said, if I ever do it again, I won't ever need a salary from a church. I'll never, ever. At
And
this point,
everybody in there gonna be wealthy.
see what I'm talking about?
Because you're gonna be teaching them all the principles and giving them the word and what they need to do practical and all of that. So it'll be a blessing. So your first time was your test run.
Yep.
Now you got all of the tools and everything that you're going to need to be able to position the people of God to be everything that God has called them to be. So this time you got a full blueprint, full map.
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So I appreciate you coming on. How can people find you, locate you, anything that you want to give the people before we close?
Well, so right now, all of our what they call background stuff, our website, all of that stuff is being revamped.
Okay.
Everything. We are going through a total branding and marketing overhaul. So all of that has been shut down. However, you can find me on Facebook under my name, Rory Cordon Edge, my full name. It's also the same thing on Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok. I'm becoming more and more visible on TikTok. TikTok, that's a whole nother animal. That's
I don't really do I post pictures on there or videos, but I don't get notifications on any social media stuff. But I haven't really tapped into TikTok like that. I do videos, but
so I'm trying. And my son, he's a influencer now. So I'm just getting some stuff from him and learning how I could work my videos and stuff better. I don't know. TikTok I'm learning that, but. You can find me on all social media platforms under my name, Rory Cordon Edge. That's Cordon. Rory Cordon Edge. And shoot me at this point, shoot me an inbox if you're interested. Also, for those of you who are like really, really interested, Dr. McCray has my personal information, so feel free to reach out to her, and she'll be able to get you connected with me as well. I will say this, and I don't say this to be disrespectful or anything. You got to come with it now. You got to come with it. I don't take excuses. I'm gonna hold you accountable, but also at the end of it, when it's all said and when it's all done, I'm gonna get you to this money that you need to grow and expand your business. So if you still on the fence, if your call is to, well, I don't know, it ain't time for you to reach out to me yet. And again, that's not to, I ain't trying to be brash or harsh. That's just, it is what it is, because as Dr. Erica will tell you, it's high intensity. It's high intensity. However, I'm gonna get you to pass that goal line. I promise you that. I promise you that. So, but let's go for those who ready to. Let's go. Let's ride. It's time to go.
Testimonies loading. I'm telling y'all, I feel it. I feel it. I feel it. Y'all pray for me as I pray for y'all. I believe that this is going to be the year that God's going to show us a lot, especially us entrepreneurs. So keep
Absolutely.
believing, keep trusting, keep writing a vision, making it plain. And when God tells you it's time to go, it's time to invest. You don't have time to wait. You got to keep the ball rolling. So, yeah.
Doc,
Uh-huh.
I meant to say this earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's a lot going on in our nation. It's a lot going on in our world. But for those of you who have an ear, he that hath an ear, let him hear what the
Yeah.
Spirit of the Lord is saying. We are about to experience the largest wealth transfer in history. So get out of your feelings, get over your whatever, and get in position. Hear me, people. Get yourself in position to receive the harvest that is about to come to God's people. I'm done.
Amen. I receive it. I receive it. I mean, everything that is going on, God still is in control, no matter what. So I'm trusting Him that what He has for me is going to be for me, no matter who's in office, who's doing whatever. However, I don't get so caught up in that anymore, because I'm like, at the end of the day, I'm trying to keep my eyes on what God is saying doing in this season, what God is saying to do in this season. So I'm believing that everything is going to work together for the good of those that love Him and are called according to His purpose. That's my resolve. So,
Amen. Amen.
well, thank you, brother. I appreciate you so much for coming on. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Really quickly, y'all, I want to again say, if you have not registered for the conference, you want to be there. God is doing something amazing in this season. You need to be in the room with the people that have seen His goodness, that have the resources and the tools and everything to push you into purpose. So please register if you haven't already. Grab your friend, make it a girls' weekend. Let's have fun. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all, and I hope that you have a great evening. I'll talk with